No, all right, we're live. Hey, Susie shit. What is Susie shit, by the way?
Susie shit is things that are suspect. Things that are suspect, or as the kids say, sus or sussy.
Sus, sussy, suspect. So this is a day later than I was planning. I was going to do yesterday, and then I remembered it was Thanksgiving. I forgot.
Well, you are in Mexico, so
Yeah,
it's a
we
traditionally
don't do
American
things.
holiday. You guys don't do
Yeah, we don't.
Thanksgiving down there.
No, they have something. They call it, well, I mean, maybe. It's Dia de Acción de Gracias. Yes, whatever. Yeah. I ate turkey. What'd you do for Thanksgiving?
I went to the in-laws and had some turkey, and we played a really cool board game called Telestrations. So it's like Pictionary, but funnier. And so basically you take a card, it gives you a word, you write down your secret word, then you pass it to the person next to you. They have to draw a picture of that word. Then they pass the picture to the next person who has to try to guess what that picture's word is. And then they pass their word. The next person tries to draw a picture, word, until you get all the way around.
All right.
And it's a ton of fun because it's an after dark adult edition. So, it contains things like shart and how do you draw a shart? So it's quite a bit of fun.
Do you have to wear clothes?
I mean, it's optional, clothing optional. Depends on the house you're at and their dress code rules.
Spoonie says it's Black Friday.
It is Black Friday.
Did you go shopping? So I couldn't remember what I did on Thanksgiving, but then I remembered what I did on Thanksgiving. I texted you.
You went shopping?
Yeah, I tried to find a what was I looking for? Christmas tree stand. And I went to Costco.
Do they have Christmas trees down there?
No, but it was an excuse to go to Costco. So I bought an inflatable Santa, a basketball game thing, and a whole bunch of Christmas lights. And then I went to a grocery store place that, it's kind of like a grocery store place that has like Christmas shit. And so I thought maybe they had one. They didn't have one. Then I went to Walmart. Walmart was closed. They were having an employee party. But they didn't tell anybody. There was no sign posted. So there was a whole bunch of Mexicans and me standing at the front door.
Waiting at the door?
Yeah, like, what the hell's going on? So then there was another Costco, or not another Costco, another Walmart. So I went to that one, same thing. So I went to a mall. Fuck this. But I did get a inflatable Santa.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to put it.
How big is it?
Pretty, I don't know, 6-7 feet maybe.
Good God.
I know. I don't know where to put it. And I don't know. My wife doesn't know I have it yet.
Does she know you went shopping?
Oh, yeah. She knows I went shopping. But she shouldn't let me go shopping by myself.
Well, we've talked about this.
Yeah. No shopping by myself. All right. So today's the day after Thanksgiving. It's Friday. Black Friday. Is that still a thing up there in the United States? They still do? Like go to the store and wait in line and stuff?
I haven't seen or heard anything today to see if any like Black Friday riots happened. Normally you'll see some video on the news about somebody at a Walmart getting the crap kicked out of them over a, $10 TV or something. I know Cyber Monday is definitely a much stronger shopping day. I think last year Cyber Monday beat out Black Friday by like big percentages. So no one in my circle was going to be out shopping today. So
I didn't go shopping today. I did a bunch of Christmas decorations. You can see some blinking lights kind of over here on the side.
I do.
They are right there.
I like it.
Yeah. I been stringing them up every 2 feet. I put a screw in the wall there and, just kind of hang them up.
You're going to leave them up and just add to the ambiance of the room, or is it holiday only?
I don't know. Man. I suck at this. I put stuff up and then I'm like, man, I don't know. Shit. Maybe I'll leave them up there. Marlis wants me to put shelves up, but
shelves can be good. You could do a nice like shadow box, right? That you could use to display the various things that you want on display, but not have to worry about dusting them. Because you put them inside the shadow box and you're good to go. And then you can light it.
Shadow box. I'll have to Google. What's a shadow box?
Basically a box with a glass front.
A shadow box. All right, I'm looking at it. I Googled it. Shadow box. Should I buy one or make?
I would make one because then you can customize it and you can do like a shelf, basically a long run shelf. And you just put 2 end caps and a top and then the front piece of plexiglass. Put some lighting in there.
All right.
Hell, you could probably build one to go around the whole room for half the cost of ordering one.
Right. So today's the day after Thanksgiving. I figured we'd do the show. We'd do like, what are we thankful for? So yeah, and listeners, listeners don't know who this is Ryan Cloutier. You were in episode 1, you were in episode 10 when we did the Security Shit Show reunion, and then you're here again. Because I was going to talk by myself, but then I'm like, I hate hearing myself just sit here and talk. So I was like, Does Ryan want to come talk to me? And here you are, you're talking to me.
I do like talking to you. You're a very good friend of mine. I like talking to you a lot.
Vice versa.
Hi, listeners. I'm Ryan.
So I asked that. I was trying to think, okay, in information security, I'm one of those guys. I don't know. Are you a little bit, do I come off to you like I'm a little cynical with information security?
I mean, let's define a little. Let's unpack that for a second here.
So I figured that was going to be the case. So I'm thinking like, okay, what am I thankful for in this industry? I'm like, I don't know. So I asked ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, I said, give me some concrete examples of how we're losing. Well, no, that's a different one. We don't want that one. Let me go back to a different prompt that I had
I'm
asked
grateful for
ChatGPT.
passkeys.
Okay, here, what?
I said, I'm
Passkeys?
grateful for passkeys. I've
Who's
about
using
had my
passkeys?
fucking fill of passwords and MFAs and 900 different accounts. And so the passkey is something I see it as an improvement. Plus it's a one-time use code. So
All right,
increased security, right?
All right, I like that. So this is what I asked. This was my prompt to ChatGPT. Create a list of things to be thankful for in the information security industry, along with why I should be thankful and some data to support it. I'm looking for a list that I can speak about in an upcoming podcast episode. So ChatGPT gave me 15 things. Do you want to talk about these 15 things that ChatGPT told me that I should be thankful for?
Yeah, let's unpack that. Let's go.
All right, number 1, growing awareness of cybersecurity.
Okay. I can get behind that. I mean, everyone's aware of it, but as we know, awareness doesn't always mean action. I'm aware of a lot of things I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I'm aware that I'm quite a bit overweight. Thank you. I'm still sitting here. Well, and so ChatGPT goes on and says, why be thankful? Cybersecurity is no longer a niche concern. It's a boardroom level topic with growing public awareness about its importance. Some data points. According to a 2023 Gartner report, 88% of boards now view cybersecurity as a business risk, not just a technical one.
That would be because their insurance policies were getting canceled for not having good cyber hygiene.
So that was a 2023 Gartner report.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I'm old. I got here in 90.
I will say that I would say that I am thankful for, and maybe in another episode we'll unpack the impact of that boardroom participation now, but I'm thankful for it no longer being that it's just an IT thing down in the corner you go. I mean, we definitely have more of a voice than we've ever had. Doesn't mean anyone's listening any better, but we have more of a voice. So I would say we could be thankful for that. Right?
Yeah, I am the cynical one.
And I'm the optimist. So,
Well, I mean, okay, I'll agree. I mean, have we made progress? Sure. But, the part that pisses me off, it says 88% of boards now view cybersecurity as a business risk. I'm like, what the fuck took you so long?
Well, and let's back it up a second. According to Gartner's research study, 88% of the folks that responded to the email indicated that their board believes. But what's the stats on that? And they do, but they don't care about it because of what it is. They care about it because they do see it as the business risk because of the changes in the legal landscape, changes in the compliance landscape, and changes in the insurance landscape. I assure you that if they could still keep getting away with not doing anything, they would. I mean, that's lowest impact to the business, spend no money, push it off to tomorrow. They can't do that anymore. So now it's become a business risk, because if they do get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, there's much stronger penalties today, financially and criminally. So I hope they care. I don't know why that number isn't 100.
Well, and they view cybersecurity as a business risk, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to tear it apart too much, but the other data point that ChatGPT gave me on this was the global cybersecurity market is expected to grow from $173 million in 2023 to $266 billion in 2027.
And then I am not shocked that the industry continues to be very profit focused. So I would agree and say that is absolutely, you're going to see that growth. I think, what's interesting is comparing that number against some of the other technologies that are going to be growing in that same time period, like GPT.
So $266 billion by 2027, $73 billion last year. How many of those dollars do you think are well-spent dollars?
Only 1 billion.
Right? So, I don't like when we use the dollars we're spending on information security as some sort of justification that we're doing it well. But it is a justification that there's a growing awareness. So ChatGPT, if we were to grade ChatGPT's number one, and these aren't ranked, but number one thing to be thankful for this year for cybersecurity is growing awareness of cybersecurity. If you were to rate this 1 to 10 with how much you agree on it, 10 being like, I am completely on board with you, ChatGPT, and 1 being, yeah, you're full of shit. What do you rate it?
Well, did we fact check it? That's my first question. Is that Gartner report real? Are these stats accurate?
Dude, it requires more work. I don't want to do work. This is Black Friday day.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give that a. What were my options? 10's the best ones.
Well, when you think of things to be thankful for in information security or cybersecurity, growing awareness of cybersecurity, do you rate that a 10 or do you rate that a 1?
I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to be right in the middle. I'm going to give it a 5. Awareness is important. Action, I think, is the bigger piece. So I'm going to say 5.
I'm a cynic, and I'm actually going to give it a 7. Because I do think there is growing awareness. But, to your point, if we just stick to that, then yeah, I'm grateful for that. But there's a lot of but. Number 2, dedicated and resilient professionals. We should be grateful for dedicated and resilient professionals. Why? The people in the industry, many of whom work long hours under intense pressure, keep organizations and individuals safe.
Yeah, I'm 100% out of 10. 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10. It is the hard work of the selfless people whose names you'll never know. Day in and day out. It's the lost time with family. It's the household stress. Like, people do not realize, we talk about long hours and high stress, but that cascades back to our home lives. And our health. Every cyber practitioner I know is not in the best shape health-wise. They're not, relationships are a little gooey at times. And both you and I have personal experiences where the job has caused additional stress in the home.
Yeah. And burnout. I just thought about burnout like last week or the week before. Burnout has certainly crept up on me again, and it happens quite a bit. And it's the unsung hero kind of work that we do. It's which is cool. I don't want accolades or anything. I do it because I love to do it. But we are dedicated and we are resilient. And so if we're not going to talk quality, then I'll leave it. I'll say a 10 as well.
Yeah.
The data points here, a 2023 survey of ISC Squared revealed that 66% of cybersecurity professionals report working overtime to respond to incidents. 66% of professionals are responding to incidents.
I would say, again, per the report that targeted a very narrow group of people, for the 11 that replied to the email, 66% of them. I mean, that's the problem with some of these stats, right? Is they don't tell you what the base number is. So that percentage point is, I don't think 66% of the industry is doing IO. I think 66% of the industry is dealing with the consequences of it. I think that I could get behind that when you come back, after the weekend and you find out that, the IR team's been busy all weekend long and now you got mop and bucket work. But no, I mean, We don't even have that many incident responders in the industry to count due to 66%.
But second data point, despite challenges, 83% express pride in their work.
Yeah, I would say most of us, I'd give that a 10. I'd say most of us are proud to do the work we do, and the best of us do it because we love the protecting of the people. The tech part is just how we do it.
Yeah, I dig that. All right, so we both rated dedicated and resilient professionals. We both are very, very grateful for that this year. Number 3, rapid technological advances. Why? Advancements in AI, machine learning, and automation are making threat detection and response faster and more effective. Are we thankful for that?
Yes-ish. Yes-ish. While there's some truth to that, there's also we are becoming less able to hunt the threat because we're more dependent on the machine. I also think there's an increase of trust when the machine gets it right 8 times, that the 2 times it gets it wrong, we lose our ability to even consider that it could still fail. So for me, it's a double-edged sword. I love the automation, but as you know, once processes become automated, people stop looking at them. And if we go back to the beginnings of our careers, this is why every data center we've ever been in has had the mystery box. What does it do? I don't know. Do not turn it off. We don't know what it does. We don't know who owns it. It was here before I got here. And I worry that with the automation of some of that work, we're going to lose sight of some of the telemetry. It's just going to become, if the tool says green, then we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So is the practitioner in 5 years from today actually able to hunt a threat? Or are they only able to operate the AI-powered threat hunting software?
Yeah. Yeah. And I rate this one like a 1. I'm not thankful for this because that's why we're here. Honestly, that's why we're here for so many reasons is we continue to just rapidly adopt new technology and we don't know how to fucking use it. Not responsibly.
Right.
And so you just keep adding on more shit. Yes, AI is awesome. Every technology can be used for good or for evil. And if you don't know how to use it for good, it's going to be used for evil. And so, yeah, I'd like us to slow the fuck down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not grateful for this one at all. Because it's also this, yeah, and like to your point, this mystery sauce, right? Everything AI enabled. Most people who are using AI enabled stuff don't know what AI is.
It's true. Actually, I'm about to launch a class. The formal blast on LinkedIn and the marketing campaign starts on Cyber Monday, but I'm going to be teaching a crash course for CISOs in AI. It's a 3-day-long boot camp. And the very first thing we talk about is what is AI? Because there is a huge misunderstanding across the board of what it is and what it isn't and all the different flavors it comes in. So I totally agree with that.
I would like some vanilla AI, please.
As a vanilla AI?
Yeah. You said flavors. Did I do vanilla?
Yeah.
Vanilla?
Well, I mean, right now the current flavors are dystopian.
Yeah. Well, here's the data points that ChatGPT gave us. AI-enabled security solutions are expected to account for 75% of organizations' defenses by 2025. That's from Deloitte, which I don't know why they call it Deloitte, because when I read that, it actually looks like Deloitte.
Are we even pronouncing it right? I just learned that we've all been saying BMW wrong, and it's actually BMV, because W in German is pronounced V. Yeah, it blew my mind. We say Porsche wrong, we say BMW wrong, we say Mercedes wrong.
Yeah, and we want AI. You can't even talk. Kind of loud. All right, the other data point, automation reduces average incident response time by 70% in SOCs using it. That's according to IBM X-Force.
Is that ticket opened or is that actual response time?
Well, it says incident response time. So I'm guessing detection feeding into the response triage, maybe?
Okay. All right. We'll go with that. We'll give them some credit.
Yeah. But either way, I'm not. So of the 3 so far we've got growing awareness in cybersecurity. We're both pretty much in agreement on that. We're above 5, both of us. Dedicated and resilient professionals, we're both super grateful for that, right? We know a lot of them. That's why we have so many mental health. I mean, we could just go down the rabbit hole on that one. And the third one, rapid technological advancements, I'm like -10 on that. Learn how to use the shit you got right now before you start buying and putting in more shit.
I agree, but as a super nerdy nerd, right? I like the advancements. I think where you and I divert is I see the advancement as a standalone to the release and commercialization. So I'm in love with the idea that we're pushing science further. I'm in love with the idea that we're
I like
doing these
that. But
experiments.
don't give it. I like that too, but don't give it to people.
But I do think that the cycle from we think it probably works, and we do this with medicines. I mean, how many drugs do they push into the market where they're like, we actually aren't entirely sure how it works, but if you take it, either your leg will fall off or it'll grow back.
Right. I agree. All right, number 4. You ready?
Quattro.
Collaborative communities. Why? Cybersecurity professionals frequently collaborate to share intelligence, tools, and strategies for the greater good.
Some of them. Some other communities within our communities are cesspools. So I think that there is definitely more collaboration between us than, say, some other industries. I don't know too many accountants that literally, I don't think there's an accountant Twitter. There's an InfoSec Twitter, right?
All right. So collaborative communities. The data, you want to hear the data? Threat intelligence sharing platforms like ISACs have seen a 47% increase in participation since 2020. Open source tools like Metasploit and Wireshark are widely used, demonstrating a community-driven ethos. So collaborative communities. What do you rate it? 1 to 10?
I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I think there's at times I see more of a competitive community than a collaborative community, but
yes,
it depends on where, because it's such a vast ocean of community. But I do see community come together. I do see us more so than I see other industries really working hard to give each other lift and to help mentor. A lot of mentorship that happens in our industry.
Yeah, I agree. I think 6, maybe. I think some of the collaborative communities, they're good, but I think we can do better, especially with because one of the things that it mentioned was threat intelligence. We suck at that still.
Mm-hmm.
You can mention the ISACs, that's fine, but how many people aren't members of ISACs? And what are the ISACs sharing? I was trying to find, can't remember what threat actor I was talking about this morning. Anyway, I can't remember, but it's in my notes somewhere. But I was asking for IOCs, and well, that's confidential. We don't share that. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't you share IOCs? I mean, it's public.
Is it a pay-to-play ISAC?
No, this wasn't even an ISAC. This was somebody else. I'll find out who it was. But I was upset. I was pissed off. And so I was like, why don't you share your IOCs? And they gave me a whole bunch of excuses. And I can't remember what the excuses were because this was all written down. And I was like, it's all bullshit. This isn't proprietary information. Sharing an IP address and some, maybe some DNS names and some TTPs and what have you. That's not proprietary.
Right.
It shouldn't be proprietary. So use the fact that you're treating it like it's proprietary so that you can charge somebody to access it.
Right.
No, that pisses me off. So there's that side of it. I think there's the good collaboration, like the ISSA, ISACA, the CVCSO communities. These things are really good. But then we've got the ones where I think you just kind of set it up and it's all for show, So, all right. Number 5, increased investment in cybersecurity. So kind of building off the justification of what we had for the growing awareness in cybersecurity. We should all be thankful for an increased investment in cybersecurity because organizations and governments are dedicating significant resources to strengthening defenses.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're talking about some pretty generic ass reports that are very loosey-goosey and broad. So, I mean, if by strengthen defense, they are budgeting to replace the 30-year-old equipment that runs the most critical systems. Oh, wait, they're not doing that. They're buying AI-enabled threat detection. Yeah, I don't know. Mixed feelings there. But yes, on the surface, anything that moves us closer to a better posture, more awareness of the environment, better defense.
But what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? What if you just spent $100 and you didn't make your security any better?
Well, people do that all the time. We've talked ad nauseum about that one. Like it's.
So let me ask another question. Would you rather not spend an information security dollar or misspend an information security dollar?
not spend it.
Yeah. Because I think this increased investment in cybersecurity, according to this Gartner, again, in 2024, global cybersecurity spending is expected to surpass $200 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but wonder how much of that $200 billion is just shit. You bought shit you can't use, that doesn't work, that, you're not using it correctly.
False sense of security gets created as a result.
Right. Because the number one thing, I've preached over the years for information security is situational awareness. Right. And when I'm misled, and obviously I'm misled because I just spent money on something I probably shouldn't have spent money on. So I didn't understand my situation well then, and then I just kind of doubled down on it. I think my situational awareness is worse. And so I'm probably less likely to detect it, when something does go wrong. I don't know.
I worry about the false trust. It's a huge issue for me. An improperly configured tool will often look like it's working well.
Right.
And I'm basing decisions on that.
Take a firewall.
Kind of the basis of the starting. I put in a firewall, we're good. You never turned it on. You never blocked anything. You never, well, we tried it once, and 5 minutes later, the business was losing their damn mind. So we undid it. Right. I think those days, with the advancements in some of the big tech providers and the kind of the moves they're making to force you to hit some of those minimum standards, I think is a good thing. I think it's an upside.
Yeah. Because the things that when you look at most environments, I think you could do a much better job securing their environment, getting rid of shit, as opposed to buying more shit.
Mm-hmm.
And just configuring your shit correctly. Increased investment in cybersecurity, I'm giving that one like a 3.
I'm gonna come in there myself. I'm gonna say about a 3. Because spend alone does not offset the problem.
No, it's got to be wise spend, right? Where do you spend that next information security dollar?
Hopefully, I'm training your people.
Well, the right answer would be on your most significant unacceptable risk,
which is your people not knowing how to safely use the technology given.
That might be it. Yeah, that might be it. All right. The other justification for this one is the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. Their budget increased to $3.1 billion in 2024. $3.1 billion. That's a lot of dollars.
It's a lot of dollars.
I heard that Easterly will be stepping down at the turn of the new administration thing.
I heard the same.
I'm curious who's going to be taking over.
We'll see.
Isn't it that Nome lady from South Dakota is going to be the new head of DHS?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not keeping up, man. It's too crazy right now. I take the occasional glance out there and I just go, you know what? I'm going to wait till we get a little closer and then I'll get up to speed because it's a moving target. That one guy was going to be in charge of something. And then when DOJ said, cool, so we're going to go through your stuff. He's like, never mind.
Oh, no. Well, that was Matt Getz, I think, right? He had some crazy ass shit that he was, no, I think that was, I don't think he would have been a good one. But the Christy Nome, I think is her name, will be the new, she has to go through like that confirmation shit and everything, but she'll be potentially the new head of Department of Homeland Security, replacing Mayorkas. And I guess she would appoint the new CISA director.
I would think so.
Probably. All right. $3.1 billion. All right. Number 6, thing that we should be thankful for, growing workforce opportunity. Why we should be thankful? Well, the industry offers a range of career paths from entry-level positions to executive leadership roles with competitive salaries. Are you thankful for that?
It's not accurate. So
what do you mean?
I will go with pretending what GPT just said is truly accurate and say, sure, I'm grateful for that. But the amount of fielding I do on a daily basis for those looking to get into the industry, for those that are looking to make moves or upgrades in the industry, I don't think it's as rosy as it's painted. And I think with the coming enforcement angle, the accountability liability factor has gone up, and I think you're going to see that actually have a negative impact in the short term. I think it's good in the long term, but I think in the short term, there's too many people that are like, wait. I told you yesterday it was a mess. And now today you're saying I could be held to it being a mess, but you've never helped authorize me to fix the mess.
Are you talking about holding people personally responsible for
Yep.
like CISOs?
Like CISOs going to jail. And I think there's, well, maybe not, but there's enough fear out there. There's enough in the water that it's a topic of conversation for sure.
I do hope that they keep pushing that button, because a lot of times you don't get to figure out what the real answer is until you start pushing it. You know what I mean? Because the ones who are ultimately responsible for information security in any organization is whoever sits at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so in my company at FR Secure, who's ultimately responsible? Me.
Yeah, you.
For everything. I mean, and I've gotten in arguments before with other CEOs and been like, well, you're not responsible for making sure there's toilet paper in the bathroom.
Yeah, you are. If there's no TP, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I mean, I've delegated that responsibility to somebody else, but at the end of the day, the buck stops at the top, right? So I think you're just going to have to keep pushing this and, maybe try to prosecute a few CISOs, let lawyers figure it out, set some precedent, because that's the thing. The legal community is so damn far behind. So far behind. Oh my God, these guys you have on both sides. The prosecution, the defense, whether it's a civil suit or a criminal, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
It's crazy. So, yeah, I look forward to that day. So, according to CyberSeek, you ever been to CyberSeek?
I think I've perused the site once or twice.
I like their heat map. It's kind of cool. I have no idea if it's accurate or not. So the thing we're supposed to be thankful for is the growing workforce opportunities. There's a heat map. And according to CyberSeek, the most current data, there are 398 positions open right now, job openings. The total employed workforce is 1,251,007. I retired yesterday, so we're going to call it 1,256.
Did you officially retire yesterday? Did you really do it? Yeah, I thought you were full of shit. I was like, Evan, retire? I thought you're still talking. You retire, you're going to drop over dead.
So the supply-demand ratio, 83%. Job openings, national average, it peaked out. I mean, it's kind of... Anyway, it's interesting. There's a lot of data points there. I think it's interesting to review. The people I talk to, so from my perspective, I mean, in context, right? I don't know the whole world. I don't know all the data points. I just know from what I see, my perspective, people are struggling to find jobs.
Yeah. I'm
in this industry.
I recently joined the crew. The organization I was with, I decided to change ownership and change direction. And so I experienced a job reduction, if you will. So I'm right back in that saddle myself. So we'll see what's out there for me. But I think I'll probably fare better due to the experience level than a lot of the folks that are maybe only a handful of years into the biz. Maybe they've only, done it a couple of junior SOC positions and an analyst position. And so I think for them, it's going to be more difficult because I see the lower level jobs being replaced by the AI tooling. The mid-tier jobs are kind of shrinking. And then the senior jobs, well, let's be honest, they're not entry-level jobs, right? You do have to be effective in those roles, you have to have a pretty damn good understanding of quite a few different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, entry-level positions from a lot of people I talk, because people email me or message me, when there's a position opening at FR Secure and I'm not involved.
They reach out to me.
No, I'm not involved in the hiring process. So
I'm like, he doesn't hire. He's not.
I forward them on though to Oscar, who I think eventually forwards them on to, just so they know that, hey, somebody reached out, they took the initiative to, so that's usually what I do with it. But I mean, from the people I talk to, people that are trying to get into this industry, they're all struggling. A lot of college kids. So I've asked college professors, what's their number one challenge? When they're teaching cybersecurity, they said that the number one challenge is trying to find internships for their students.
Mm-hmm.
So on the entry level side, on the executive leadership side, I know of a couple of friends or CISOs who are struggling to find, positions. I don't know. I think it's a mess. But in terms of being grateful for a growing workforce opportunities, I'll give you that. We just suck at capitalizing on these opportunities. People don't know what the fuck they're hiring for. They don't know what skills they're looking for. They're asking for things that don't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you compare the skill levels and skill sets that they're asking for and compare that with the pay that they're offering, there's disconnects. I think hiring managers are lost. On the other side, I think, in education, you're training a lot of students for skills that aren't useful. They're smart. I mean, you're teaching them good theoretical stuff, good book stuff. What do you call that? Academics.
Mm-hmm.
But, falling short on the practical side of things. I give you, I'll say an 8 because there are growing workforce opportunities. But again, we really suck at taking advantage of them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, so AI guy here says that's a dated stat at this point. And I don't think that that's actually the true reality going into and coming out of the next 6 months. I think the opportunity landscape is going to shift away from a lot of those button clicky level jobs within the industry. Those will be replaced by automation and AI. There'll be new opportunities. That's the other thing, is we're at that
Did you
magic
say
moment.
new or did you say nude?
Nude opportunities. That's the
I would like
fallback
to be an
plan.
intro.
Well, I was thinking we would start a cybersecurity OnlyFans, and then we would just
I like where you're going with this. Let's talk about this offline. No, I agree. So the data points. Here's one data point. Have you ever heard of cybersecurity ventures? Their data's shit. There's no fucking way. I mean, every time I read anything from these guys, it's like, I get where you're, no. So this is what they say. Over 3.4 million cybersecurity positions were unfilled globally as of 2023. Bullshit. I mean, bullshit. When you've got...
Wait, did you say unfillable or unfilled? Because I'll agree that 3.4 million cybersecurity job postings that have requirements that no one can meet are unfillable.
Unfilled.
Yeah,
unfilled.
Not what I'm hearing. Not what I'm seeing.
I'd like to dig in deeper because they're also the guys that said like we $10.5 trillion in global losses to cybercrime by the year 2025 or something like that. It's big. It ain't that big. Just saying. That's a big, big, big number. But cybersecurity ventures, I don't dig their data. I've never dug into it, but they're always kind of like out there on the sensational side. Clickbait, I think we call that.
That's what we call it.
Yeah. The other data point, median annual salary for an information security analyst. Every time I see the word analyst, I think analyst because it looks like analyst to me, but it's actually analyst. Is there a job position for an analyst?
Back to OnlyFans.
We're going to make so much money. All right. Analyst. Okay. I like it. In the United States. So the average median annual salary for an analyst is $112,000 a year.
Okay. Yeah. I'll buy that.
For an analyst?
Yeah.
For an analyst? Really?
They didn't say which level, but yeah, I would buy that because it's not a junior job.
Median annual salary.
Yeah, but they're thinking about California. They're thinking about senior analysts. I guarantee that data point is including some outlier salaries from higher value markets and more senior level analyst type positions. Because senior analyst 3 is going to be making a hell of a lot more than a junior analyst.
Senior analyst?
Senior analyst. That's the senior citizen channel. The senior analyst.
Yeah, seriously, it's going to be huge. So growing workforce opportunities. How grateful? Scale 1 to 10?
I think it's a bullshit stat. I'm going to go with 2.
All right, I'm only going to bring you up by 1 point. If we average, I'm going to say 4.
Okay.
We average out of it. Number 7, emergence of advanced threat detection tools, which almost kind of seems like what you were talking about before with the rapid technological advancements. Words are hard. All right, so number 7, emergence of advanced threat detection tools. Tools like EDR. Nobody fucking uses EDR now. It's all XDR.
MDR, XDR.
It's all XEEXLDR. Motherfuckers, don't use EDR. What are you? Was this 2023?
Well,
doesn't 2023?
Doesn't Defender? No, it's not 23.
Exactly. So not enough letters. EDR. All right. Tools like EDR, XDR, and SOAR. security orchestration, automation, and response. Do you know anybody using SOAR technologies?
Yes.
All right. Are they having luck with their SOAR?
Well, their SOAR is not a product. It is the automation and orchestration engines that they've put together. So I'm a huge proponent of the concept of SOAR. I absolutely believe where you can get an alert, reviewed and logged and entered faster if there's an automated response. Like, I'm a huge proponent of Kubernetes and other containers because they play well with SOAR, and I can just kill the session, drop the box, and bring up a new one. And now the back is going to figure out the new keys, right?
So is that cool?
I have yet to see a proper use or implementation of one of the commercial versions of SOAR. Yar, matey.
Yar. Well, it's because people are lazy. Because SOAR is meant to, it's not a one size fits all.
Right.
There's no easy button for it.
Right.
It has to be customized to how you are, who you are, the technologies you use, the people you employ, the skill sets you have. I mean, it's not, I bought this SOAR technology, I plugged it in, and there we go. So I think a lot of times it's, if you know what the hell you're doing, well, if you know what the hell you're doing, you're already doing it. And they just ended up putting a name on it. It was like cloud. When they first started using cloud, it was like, I just host shit over there. I've always been doing cloud. Same thing with SOAR. We just put a name to it. Same thing with Zero Trust. If you've been doing shit right, you were kind of doing Zero Trust. Now, maybe not everywhere, but you had your shit configured correctly. You had ingress, egress on your firewalls. You knew what, you knew your data flows and all that shit. So, all right. So, are you thankful for the emergence of advanced threat detection tools?
Yes, I'll go with yes, and I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I will too. Because I think these are great technologies, but just like any technology, if you're not using it right, you're doing yourself more damage. So the data point here is organizations using SOAR saw a 95% reduction in the time to respond to threats. This is according to Forrester, 2023.
Okay.
Just that fucking statement bothers me though.
Why?
And well, because I'm an analyst.
Anal retentivist.
Yeah. So organizations using SOAR. What SOAR? I mean, did you actually have a SOAR solution? I mean, whatever. So, because it's still so ill-defined for so many people. So a lot of people will claim that they're using SOAR, but it's just how they do shit, right? So organizations using SOAR saw a 95% reduction in the time to respond to threats. Why the fuck do I respond to threats? If I have no weakness, there's no incident. Why the fuck do I care?
Well, you might have a threat hunting team that's then using that to, and if you're doing it right, your threat hunting team is always feeding into your detection team so that you can start to add different rules and behavioral patterns and things. Because if you are getting those early indicators and you can capture those IOCs, or if it hasn't fully turned to compromise yet, you can capture the attempt, right, for patterning purposes. So I see value in that. I do. I think, but if you don't have a threat hunting team,
but I think this data point is shit. You saw people are using SOAR, probably didn't even know what the fuck SOAR is. Saw a 95% reduction in the time to respond to threats. I don't respond to hardly any fucking threats. I respond to the threats that matter, and I respond to incidents. I mean, because if I'm going threat hunting, and if it's in scope, it's probably my internal environment that I'm doing the threat hunting, and I find a threat, well, it's a fucking incident.
Right.
I ain't a threat anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's my analyst thing. So what did we say? You said 7? What number did you give this? Emergence of advanced threat detection tools.
I gave it a 7.
Okay. I'll go with it because I don't feel like arguing. It's good. 7's good. Let's do that. All right. Number 8. Greater public-private collaboration. Governments and private entities are working together to combat threats, making global responses more coordinated. You're going to love the example that we get. CISA's JCDC, Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative, launched in 2021, has engaged over 50 private companies to combat cyber threats collaboratively. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. So greater public-private collaboration.
Now, I hate that they cited JCDC because I do believe there's a greater public-private cooperation. I've seen it. I'm part of it. I participate in it. I think that the InfoGuard program, I think that the ISACs, not necessarily one ISAC in particular, but the other ISACs, right? So there a lot of people outside of tech don't necessarily know this, but there's ISACs for biologic response, nuclear, water treatment. It isn't all just technical ISACs, right? It isn't all just MS and IT and et cetera. There are other ISACs. So I would say the sharing of that info that traditionally has been held back because it does have a higher sensitivity level. I have seen a definite increase in that, and I've seen people benefit from having earlier access to that intelligence that only the government really can collect, right? Some of this stuff is like, it's government stuff. Only the government can really be in the places to collect that. And then those reports are very helpful. So, for example, we knew about Volt Typhoon before everybody got hit by it. A handful of people that were smart enough to implement what they were getting from that ISAC, take those proactive measures, didn't find themselves laying on their face when it rolled out.
So take that one. Take, 'cause that's a Chinese nation state. Why wouldn't you share those IOCs publicly?
Ooh, that's a really complicated answer, if we're being honest. And
But
there's
you
a lot
should.
of really valid reasons as to why you wouldn't.
Give me one.
National security. Yeah.
Because if I've been compromised or if I've been targeted by them, I have IOCs.
But if I share them, I might break investigations.
No, you wouldn't, because they're not just, how would you break the investigation?
Well, let's say I publicly share. So hypothetically, of course, let's say that I have these IOCs that I know of as the government. Now I want to catch them in the act, and I can't necessarily do that yet. Maybe I don't have enough evidence to go to the court of public opinion and to the world court and say, hey, this for sure is happening. We're going to take some kind of action. The other reason that I might not want to do that is because I'm still gathering intel on their tactics and techniques. And I hate that this is a truth, but sometimes they'll let you get hurt so they can learn from what happened to you.
Yeah, but I don't buy that, man, because there's not enough. So you're saying that if we share the IOCs, that the Chinese are going to think, fuck, now they're onto us.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. This is where we get into the sticky part of our business. You just said, Volt Typhoon is a military action against our country. And somehow we wind up in that realm when really it's our military's responsibility. So if it's considered a military intelligence item, it's not your business. So, I mean, I can argue both sides.
But it's not a military intelligence.
Well, sure it is.
Not if it affects me.
Sure it is.
No, because I've got the fucking IOCs now. So now I can't share it?
I don't know. I think this one we can share the IOCs, but what I'm getting at is the sharing.
No, they're not sharing the IOCs. This was one of the ones that was pissing me off this morning. Because in this debate, because there are lots of reasons, right? You hear them all the time. And I'll write something up about this because I did take notes because I was like, what the fuck? No.
And you mean this publicly or within the restricted channels, they're also not sharing? Because there's the general public.
No, they're not sharing everything.
Okay. But are they sharing something? So like for me, I have access to some of the restricted channels and I will see things there that are absolutely not in the public realm, but they are sharing more openly and more quickly than I've seen them do in the past.
Right. But generically, who's in those channels?
Critical infrastructure, government, feds.
Is it an ISAC?
InfoGuard, which is comprised of a bunch of ISACs.
Yeah, I'm talking, there's more shit than there. Because that was the frustration, because the things that we were talking about, there's no reason not to share those IOCs. And what it came down to, because finally you kind of push them into a corner. And the reason why they're not sharing the IOCs is because they're viewing it as proprietary information that they can make more fucking money off of. It's not a national security fucking thing. It's not an investigation thing. So what the fuck are you going to do with your investigation anyway? You're not going to prosecute.
Right.
You're not going to find attribution. You already know who the fuck it is.
Damn it, you and your factual cynicism.
Well, it pissed me off because when in the greed of all this, because this isn't a business person that was saying all this stuff, right? It wasn't their greed. But we went kind of point by point, and I was like, I think the only reason why we don't share this shit is because it's secret. Protect the investigation. But you can break all that shit down. Really, the reason why we're not sharing is because that's part of my proprietary threat feed that I charge people X number of dollars.
Got it.
Which
I thought you were talking public source. I thought you were talking this is public source.
No, I mean, it's a
okay. Yeah, then yeah, of course. I'm not going to share it because I can make money with it.
Well, and I think even on the public side, I think they can do a hell of a lot better job sharing these things. I think IOCs, when you're talking nation state, you're talking criminal, unless you can actually figure out a fucking way to prosecute these people and bring these people to justice, share that shit openly, because that's why they keep doing it. It's not you sharing the IOC data that's going to stop them. It's you prosecuting them.
Right.
When you share the IOC stuff, then I can actually stand a chance to protect against it ahead of time. So, yeah, I mean, so there is greater public and private collaboration, I think, than ever, but man, we still got a long ways to go. So I'll rate it the same, I think as you, 7 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pissed off that we don't share more. Because we also don't share loss data. And I get that, because nobody wants to be embarrassed. We don't want the stock prices to get hit and stuff like that. I get why you wouldn't want to share that. But when you're talking just IOCs, TTPs, fuck, share that like there's no tomorrow. To everybody. Announce it.
Right.
If anything, if I'm the attacker and I'm like, fuck, everybody knows about me now. People then make changes. And when people make changes, they make mistakes. I think you stand a better chance catching them when you're watching them.
Right.
So, see, it was a good discussion though this morning. I think that's why I'm tired now. All right, number 9, evolving regulations and compliance. We should be grateful for this.
I am. I give it a 10. I give it a 10. No, I do. Because regardless of how well it is being done or how ridiculous at times it's being done, if you don't have it, you got nothing. The only way you're getting any kind of progress here is through regulation, is through these things, because otherwise there's no means or method of holding folks accountable. So I'm going to give it a 10, and I'm going to say that I've liked that we're doing it. Obviously, we're not doing it well. There's lots we could be doing better, but we weren't doing it at all before. So I'm gonna say this is a. Oop.
What is that?
That is my Harley alarm.
Oh, that's right. You got a Harley alarm. That's so fucking cool. I want a Harley. All right, evolving regulations and compliance. What the fuck evolved? I mean, GDPR didn't evolve. CCPA didn't evolve. PCI DSS didn't evolve. HIPAA hasn't evolved.
The Modernizing American Cybersecurity Act or whatever. They did some good consolidation. They did some good consolidation within DFARS. They did some good, I felt good about that. But I felt that, again, while it didn't really solve, it got rid of some of the fucking walls in between and allowed for at least a more cohesive approach to risk and governance.
Yeah. We're going to have to agree to disagree, but I respect your opinion and your perspective.
Right back at you.
I love you.
I love you too.
So you rated it a 10?
I'll give it a 10. I will give it a 10. On a level of gratitude.
We'll rate it 2.
Okay. I like it.
We suck.
Optimus, cynicist.
Right? Totally. All right. Number 10, open source tools and frameworks. We should be grateful for open source tools and frameworks. Open source solutions empower smaller organizations and individual researchers to participate in security without high costs.
Well, that's a bit of a misnomer.
Come on now.
Without a license cost, sure.
What are you fucking thinking?
Open source. Careful. That college kid might delete that library, break your whole program.
Boom. SQL injection.
What? Now, there is one upshot. If the application is open source, you stand a chance of being able to write your own patches. So you don't have to wait on a vendor. You can, as long as you have access to the source, you have an opportunity to do your own code hardening reviews. You have an opportunity to do a feature reduction. It's just because you want it to do the 10 things, maybe it doesn't need to do the 20. So I'm a proponent of open source. It's a double-edged sword, but I'm pro open source.
Yeah, me too. I'd give this an 8.
Yeah, I'd say
Open
that's about
source
right.
tools. I love open source because it's open, it's transparent. I can use it the way I want to. People can make, for the commercial side of things, there's lots of open source tools that are commercial. I mean, just because it's open source doesn't mean you can't charge people for it. It's, open source I dig it a lot. Plus, there's so much innovation and different ways to do things that are done in the open source community that aren't done in the commercial community. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I use open source tools all the damn time, and it's cool too because I can tweak them. You know what I mean? I can troubleshoot them. It doesn't function the way I want to function, and it is cheaper. I mean, if you are somebody who's on a budget, I can do just about anything I do with commercial tools, with open source tools, including this podcast, including feeding things. ODS? I could use that instead of this platform to feed it into YouTube. So yeah, I'm a big fan. All right, number 11. We're almost done. Resiliency against increasing threats. This is number 11. We should be thankful for resiliency against increasing threats. Despite the rise in sophisticated attacks like ransomware and APTs, organizations are showing greater resilience.
Tell that to Microsoft, AT, Amazon. I mean,
right.
Maybe they are. My service outage says otherwise.
According to Sophos, this surprises me. 85% of organizations have a ransomware recovery plan in 2024.
85% of Sophos customers have signed up for their...
Probably. Compared to just 50% in 2020. 85%, man.
Cite your source, man. Think about what you just said and who said it. They offer that product. That is a really compelling news point for them, for a product they offer.
Yeah. I'm going to run this past Oscar because, no, I mean, not in the organizations we've talked to.
Right.
Maybe it's just another corner of the world where everybody's got a ransomware plan and they're resilient. Nope. So resiliency against increasing threats. No, I think I give this if that were true, I would rate this a 10. Easy.
Yeah, it's not true. I'm giving it a 3.
Yeah. The fact of the matter, it's true. Number 12, diverse career paths for all backgrounds. We've got some duplication here. The field welcomes professionals with technical and non-technical skills, focusing or fostering inclusivity.
Yeah, I'm always grateful for diversity and inclusion. I think that everybody who can do the job should be able to do the job, and there should be no barriers to doing it other than skills. I think skills, or the lack of, should be the mark of entry, or not. And every other factor, I mean, for God's sakes, we're going into 2025. If you are still stuck on what somebody looks like, sounds like, what they put their bits in or don't put it in, or however they're like, just get over it.
Dude, if I got paid by what I looked like, fuck me, right?
Right.
I would have no money.
I do think, it's good. I know there's been some political kerfuffles around some of the ways that they've gone about getting things done.
We're going to talk. So at the end of this list, we're going to talk about this new, I'm going to reposition this podcast because we're going to talk about shit like that in the repositioned podcast.
I like it.
Like nothing off limits, because people should be heard about this shit. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't get so goddamn offended about fucking everything. All right. So diverse paths. I agree. I'm a big fan. And it's not because this is where I think a lot of people get diversity wrong. People get diversity wrong because you hire a black person because they're black.
Yeah, that's not good.
You hire a woman because she's a woman. And the truth is, if that's all you see, you're missing out on the true benefit. The true benefit is their perspective. They're different. They see things differently. When you truly embrace somebody who sees things differently, you solve more difficult problems better, right? So, and I've learned this firsthand. I remember the first woman we hired as an executive at FR Secure, and I was like, holy shit, man. It was like a light bulb was shined on everything. So that's the reason. And I think, there's more women today in our industry than ever. Women think different than men do. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. I'm aware.
So according to this statistic, 30% of the global cybersecurity workforce by 2025 will be women. That's up from 11% in 2013. We should be thankful for that.
I'm very thankful for that. I give that a 10.
Yeah, I do too. And let's continue progress. We got a long ways to go. Number 13, innovative education and training. Why be thankful? The proliferation of training platforms. This said, for example, Security Studio. Thank you, ChatGPT. You just knew it was me because you want me to keep using you. CyberRange, whatever. So the proliferation of training platforms helps skill up new and existing professionals. Yeah, I think we're making progress because I think that's the key, right? It's the frustration I think so many of us have is like, how the fuck do I get through to them?
Well, and to that point,
yeah,
shameless plug, keep an eye on LinkedIn. I'm going to be blasting out a 3-day boot
that's
camp.
right. Yes.
AI-enabled CISO. You're going to learn all the ins and outs of what is AI, all the different flavors, how it applies, how to deal with automation versus autonomy. Like it's definitely not, the most senior level masterclass. I want to make it accessible for everybody, but it is something where CISOs that are serious, that take it, are going to go back into the office after the holidays, really, truly equipped to lead these conversations, to get their teams up to snuff, and really, I hope, become the shining example within the organization for how one safely embraces it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, education has never been more accessible than it is today. Education and training, from free to low cost to, whatever. And I think a lot of it's good, but I think the more even if you got like shit training, like they trained you on the wrong way to do things, if you just keep training, eventually you'll come to realize that thing that they taught you before was bullshit. It's just, eventually it all comes out in the wash. So don't even worry so much about, in my opinion, the quality of the training. Just train. Just keep training, keep learning, keep reading, keep whatever.
I agree.
We should all be doing that, So the data is over 70% of cybersecurity professionals utilize online training platforms to upskill. Good for you. Keep training. So what's your 1 to 10 thankfulness, gratefulness
10,
on the
10. Continuous education is part and parcel to success in this business, period. No matter what form it comes in. And the day you stop learning is the day that you're no longer relevant in this industry.
Yeah. And yes, I agree. Number 14. Almost there, brother. Number 14.
How many are on this damn list again?
132. Yeah. Actually, 14 is, we're going to talk about analyst. Again. We're not. 14 is increased focus on mental health. The industry is beginning to address burnout and stress through better support systems.
I see an increase of, I don't know these support systems, but I will say that there's an increased focus on it, and it's very important. Unmanaged, that, the mental health strain of this job can be quite significant, and it can cause cascading effects into other areas of your life that then represent other areas of mental health strain and stress, and the worry, the anxiety, the weight of the responsibility. It gets to be a lot. So I'm very, very happy and very, very thankful that, because in our industry and just period, for God's sakes, we've been living the last 4 years in a full-blown mental health crisis as a global society, and we haven't yet addressed that.
Agreed, man. Agreed. And I think, there's been more. The way you can measure, the increased focus is there's more people talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
The stigma is bullshit. It's always been bullshit. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk about, suicidal thoughts. It's not okay, obviously, to commit suicide, but if you don't talk about it, if there's the stigmas there, then, I think it's more likely that people will do that, right? It's okay to talk about depression, ADD, burnout. On and on, right? Because when people talk about it, then other people open up about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not fucking broken. Well, maybe you are, but, at least we're broken together and we can maybe fix each other and support each other. And it all comes down to fuck the stigma, in my opinion. So I love that. And I give it a 10. I am very grateful for that. I use it myself. I benefit from it and I try to help others with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 15. This is the last one.
Woo!
But, we have so many things to be thankful for.
We do. Each other.
Each other,
our friends, our
my
family,
friends, wife. I like my wife.
our blessed positions in this game.
I still have my teeth, most of them.
Yeah, I got all
I
my
think.
teethers.
Yeah.
Most of my parts still work.
Yeah. 53, man, prostate, the flow just ain't what it used to be. Thankfully, I'm thankful for a friend who told me about this.
Oh,
No, what was the name of the drug he told me? Hold on, I'll tell you. Because some people want to know if you're, getting up there in age and you're having a little problem with the flow there. There's a Tamsulosin.
isn't that what Flomax is?
I don't know. I just
Nah, I
just
gotta
went.
Google it.
I just went to the pharmacy here and asked if they have Tamsulosin.
That is
First, I looked.
Flomax is Tamsulosin.
Oh, there you go.
The
You
brand.
take one a day, 0.4 milligrams. It's an alpha blocker. Works by relaxing the muscles in the prostate and bladder, so you can flow easily. So
I like it.
And I started taking it. It's like like I'm an 18-year-old again. How did we get to talking about this?
Being thankful.
Oh yeah,
And you were thankful for it.
Well, especially like in the middle, those middle of the night peas, when the flow isn't, it's like you almost fall over. Sometimes you're just like sleeping. But no, yeah, I'm thankful for that. Yeah, dude, it's an endless list of things to be thankful for,
100%.
honestly. And the information security industry, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for so many of the people in it. I'm frustrated because I think we can do so much better. And I think that's where most of the cynicism comes from. It's not because I'm not grateful. It's because I think we can. I know we can do better. And we need to do better. That's the frustrating part. So I'm sorry I'm such a cynical little bitch, but
It happens.
this is what it is. All right, number 15, the mission, the cybersecurity mission. Why be thankful? Above all, the mission of protecting people, businesses, and governments creates purpose and meaning for those in the industry. I'm very grateful for that. I give that
10
one a
out of 10.
A 2023 survey found that 91% of cybersecurity professionals feel a strong sense of purpose in their role. That's according to PricewaterhouseCoopers.
There you go.
All right, so that's our thankful list. For anybody who says, we don't talk about that, we just did. So now we can do like a whole nother 52 weeks without being thankful again. Is that true?
I try to be of constant thanksgiving. My Jesus tells me I should do that. It's a good thing.
I suppose.
Including when you don't want to be thankful. That's the hard part. It's easy to be thankful for the things you want in life. It's hard to be thankful for the pain.
So what are you planning for? So you mentioned a class coming up, an AI course, and I'll endorse that because you have a gift, my friend.
Thank you.
You can prompt like nobody can prompt. I've never seen somebody do it like that. I tried to. You even gave me some of your GPTs to mess around with. And I was like, oh, I want to do that shit that Ryan just did. And I sat there and I'm like, but I can't ask questions like Ryan does.
Well, take my course. You'll learn a few tricks.
Yeah. When does this course kick off? When's the first?
It goes on. We'll be advertising it starting Cyber Monday. And then the target right now, depending on registration and how quick that comes in, is the week right before Christmas, trying to take advantage of people having a slower schedule, downtime, not a lot going to be going on in the business. It could be a great opportunity for your staff. Don't give them the Jam of the Month Club this year. Give them a subscription to attend the class. At the end of it, there will be an exam. You'll get a Credly badge, and you will have gained some pretty substantial skills, knowledge, talking points, and abilities. It's really focused around helping to empower the CISO, so there's not a whole lot of fluff. It's hands-on, there's workshops. Really want to get you in and help you understand how to leverage this technology to improve your security program, to enrich your career path, and to put you in a great position to be an AI leader within your organization. So taking already your leadership position within the CISO role and helping you extend that into AI. Because the reality is the CISOs and AI folk, they're going to be working together probably more closely than any other department ever has because of the nature of AI and the security risks that it represents. and the level of creativity required to properly use it safely.
I want to take the class. So yeah, I will be there for sure. And you can charge me double
I could charge you
tuition.
double. Oh,
Yeah, charge me double tuition and then take the half that I spent the double and give a, what do you call that? When you give a scholarship.
yes. And there will be, and I want folks to know, there will be a few spots available that are scholarship driven. There'll be instructions on how to submit for that. And I don't want to preclude anyone from it if, money is the basis. So the form will come out. It'll be part of the campaign on LinkedIn. You can go to scarebearindustries.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'll obviously send it to you to help promote it. And, we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful that enough folks are interested in this, that the content is deep enough and rich enough, that it's really more value than what is being charged. And the registration numbers will tell. So pretty excited about this.
Well, you shared with me, this last week, some good stuff about it. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm excited because not just the value that people will get from the class, but me as your friend who, genuinely loves you, to see you go out and do something like this and make some money because, you need to be paid for the shit that you're good at. And you're very, very good at it. So I'm excited to see how this goes. And hopefully you make a bunch of money and you can retire and come hang out with me in Mexico and shit.
Here's the hoping.
Yeah.
If it goes well, I'm going to actually roll out a whole series. So I think it's going to go great. And so the idea is, the long-term plan of this is to create a series of various AI trainings that then go into the specific areas. There's going to be one for HR. There's going to be one for executive leadership. There's going to be one for, production. Because while there are some things that are the same, it really does get down to that narrow specific. What are you doing with AI is a very important question, because what you're doing might not be the same as the next person. And so the hows are different.
Are you using AI to create your AI class on how to use AI?
I am using it to assist me in some things. Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Yeah. Like this circular, what the fuck just happened to my brain right now? So on the other thing that I want to talk about before we wrap this thing up, I'm changing this podcast up. So this is like number 11, right? And I wanted to do this podcast. It was the same as the shit show, right? Man, I wanted to get stuff off my chest.
Mhm.
I mean, there's stuff that goes on in this brain. You are similar, that what the fuck, I find myself doing things like, why the hell am I doing this? My wife, it happens every day. And so I was driving to yesterday when I was going to get that tree stand, and I came back with a blow up Santa, some kind of arcade game that I haven't put together yet. That's still in my truck, and a whole bunch of Christmas lights and just this weird shit, that you do all the time. Like I'm going to be going to a lucha libre.
That'll be fun. Wrestling's awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, man. And it's live and it's cool. And the VIP table, $150. So I'm like, yeah, who's going to the first VIP table, lucha libre? So it's all that weird shit, right? So, and I kind of get tired, honestly, of just talking about cybersecurity.
Right.
Information security, cybersecurity. And you could talk about this all day long, every day and everything like that, but this is not, cybersecurity is integrated with every single part of your life.
Correct.
Right? It is a life skill, but it is not your life. Right? So it's integrated with everything you do, but it's not everything you do. I scuba dive, I weld shit, I hang up light. I do all kinds of weird shit all the time. And so I was missing that part. And so repositioning the podcast, we're going to call it I don't like using my name a lot, really. So it's the Evan Francine Project, but we're just going to call it EFP because I don't like talking about my name. And the tagline is constipating bulls since 1970.
Love it.
Yeah. Meaning, bulls, bullshit. I don't like bullshit. So we can't stop all the bullshit, but you can slow it down a little bit or at least make it painful when they do shit. If you've ever been constipated, it's hard to shit, right? You don't shit as much. It doesn't flow out of you as freely as it did before. And sometimes it hurts when you do it. So it's going to be kind of like that. Like there's still going to be some bullshit, but we'll try to make it hurt, I think. So, yeah, we're going to change the podcast.
In?
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be, the format's going to be totally different too, because it's like I was just thinking yesterday, I was driving down to, Puerto Vallarta to do all that shit. I wanted to put my Insta360 on the roof of my truck and drive. Drive that drive with that. I think that'd be cool. So cool, because then you could see all the shit and things I see when I drive and crazy driver stuff. Nobody ever puts their Insta360 on the roof of their truck, do they? Have you ever done that?
I haven't.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking do that.
I like it.
Now I take my Insta360 to the Lucha Libre. It'll probably maybe cause some grief. And then I'm gonna interview people that come down here, like random fucking people that are here all the time that people don't get to meet, that are fascinating people. And then, we'll just do weird shit like have tacos and then talk to the taco man.
I like it.
We'll record a lot of stuff. We won't make that stuff live, but then we'll still do live podcasts every once in a while. Just, I think of the live podcast, we're just going to do random shit. Instead of like security stuff all the time. Like when I asked you if you wanted to come on this podcast tonight and you said, yeah, what's the topic? Or what are we talking about? And I said, what did I say to you? I said, penis enlargement and breast enhancement. And you said you don't need penis enlargement because you're well endowed. And so I'm like, is that like Milton Berle? Milton Berle was
we talk
notorious.
And some of us are overly blessed.
Right. That's the kind of shit that I want to talk about. Just like off the wall shit that's like, yeah, let's talk about penis enlargement. I don't know why. It's just in my fucking brain because I'm an ADHD guy and this is what I do.
I can, and I look forward to unpacking that with you because I have a different side of that story, right? Remember, the grass is always greener on the other side.
I was just telling somebody day before yesterday about my third ball.
I had one of those at one point too.
That's a hydrocell.
Yeah, I got mine removed.
You don't have to have it removed. I mean, you can get it removed.
I didn't like it. It bothered me. I got rid of it.
Did I tell you about how I found out about my hydrocell?
No, but we'll save that for the other podcast.
I feel like I should tell it now, and then I'll say it for the other podcast too. All right? I'll do it real quick. Promise. So I was peeing. This is like a couple of years ago. I was peeing, and I'm just, I was in the morning, I'm kind of groggy. I'm like, oh, and I had an itch. So I scratched. I'm like, there's a fucking third. What the hell? So I was like, no, that's not really a third ball, is it? And I'm like, looking, I'm like, holy fuck, I got a third ball. I'm like, what the fuck? How did I get, is that cancer? I'm freaking out. I'm like, shit, my wife, because I'd already had my kidney taken out for cancer, right?
Right.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to tell my wife this shit. So I sat down and I'm like inspecting it and I'm like, all right, well, let's Google what the fuck this is. How can I self-diagnose? So I start Googling, third ball is basically what I Googled. And one of the things said, well, if it's translucent, you can shine light through it. It's probably a hydrocell because, it's just fluid. If you can't shine light through it, well, then, you should go to the doctor. It might be, a tumor. So I took my phone because it was the only fucking light I had. I turned on the flashlight and I'm shining it on my ball. And I'm like, hell yeah, man. It's translucent. So that was my third ball story.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot of weird shit like that. Just talk about weird off the wall.
Well, I'll be into it. I'm a weird guy.
I'm all right. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving yesterday. Happy Black Friday. Happy Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Remember, everybody, be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself a little bit more. You got this.
Sounds boring. Kick yourself in the third ball. No, don't do that. All right. Talk to you later. All right. We are